talked about different meters, or that's numbers of beat per measure. One thing we haven't talked about yet, but is so very important, is music history. Because without the smart, old, dead, crazy guys, we probably wouldn't be doing this. I mean, really. We're about to play a piece of music that was written by Beethoven, one smart dog. Get it? The dog, Beethoven. The dog, the movie, the dog. Most of you have heard this song. It goes a little bit something like this. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, that's not how it goes. A lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's not how it goes. The ending's a little different. Well, it is now. When Beethoven wrote this piece of music, this is Ode to Joy, commonly referred to as Ode to Joy, but this is an excerpt from his Ninth Symphony, his ninth and final symphony. When Beethoven wrote this, he wrote it the way that I played it just then. About a few years later, I don't know, that was like a long time ago. A few years later, he decided, hey, that's not right. I was wrong. I need to change it. This piece of music by this rock star at this time, the big three that people know, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach. Beethoven was really the only one that was famous when he was alive. This guy was a rock star. People played his music everywhere. He was the crazy, ridiculous Lady Gaga of his time. He really was. He absolutely was. He did crazy things. He was out with questionable people. He wrote crazy music. But for whatever reason, something about what he did screamed, hey, I know what I'm doing. Beethoven changed it a few years later. And he had to gather up all the music that he had written because he didn't want to perform the other way anymore. He decided, hey, that's wrong. It needs to be like this. A little different at the end. He added a dot, made one note longer, the other note shorter. That's it. And he collected all of the music he had sold and people were playing all over the world just to do that. We're going to play for you an excerpt from the Ninth Symphony. Yes, Mr. Frank. Oh, we're good to go? Thank you. Okay, I get it, I'm the band guy, I might like Beethoven more than you guys, I get that. But, come on! What if we had never heard of some of the famous classical poets, some of the very famous classical writers? There's a lot of art out there that we don't give, we don't expose our students to. Anyway, it was a very good experience being able to speak with him about the history of music and what Beethoven did for music. That he was one of the big three composers that most everybody had at least heard of. That was very big, and that's something that we're going to continue in the future. I hope we don't have any Ohio State or Notre Dame fans in the crowd. Because we're not about to play Michigan's fight song, but we are about to play the piece of music that inspired Michigan's fight song. This is the Victor's March. Since it's a march, I'm actually going to use a baton. And I don't know why, but they get all sorts of jacked up about this. I don't know. They like being under a baton, I suppose. It's okay. So, also with this piece, we were able to talk about sharing melody and harmony. We did a little bit of melody and harmony inadvertently when we did the four-part round. We had some people playing different things at different times that made some chords that sounded kind of cool. Now we're actually playing a piece of music where we line up and we play different notes as the classes at different times. Class 1 is playing the first part, Class 2 is playing the second part. There is melody, there is harmony, and they switch halfway through. This is the Victor's March, and this will conclude our program for the evening. Please don't go anywhere after this. But this will conclude the playing portion of our program.